How many jokers you think we snatched?
So that's the way it goes down, huh?
When you are just as hungry as they are, and looking forward to that big break and big opportunity.
Did Wesley Snipes just reveal something we've all been worried about? For years, fans have wondered about the truth behind his struggles. Was it the trouble with the law, his time in prison, or issues with Hollywood that worried us the most?
Big developments in the Wesley Snipes tax evasion case.
Today, the U.S. Marshal in Orlando ordered the actor to report to prison next week. This latest move comes 2 weeks after a similar order from a federal magistrate in Ocala.
Snipes is a talented actor, known for his roles in Blade and New Jack City. But behind the scenes, things haven't always been easy for him. What did he finally admit to that has everyone talking? Let's take a closer look at what Wesley Snipes just confirmed that has shocked his fans. Before we dive into the details of Wesley Snipes' incredible career, let's take a moment to explore where it all began. Wesley Snipes was born on July 31st, 1962, in Orlando, Florida. His life took an early turn when his parents, Marion and Wesley Rudolph Snipes, divorced shortly after his birth. As a result, young Wesley grew up in the South Bronx, a vibrant but tough neighborhood in New York City. The streets of the Bronx were challenging, but amidst the hustle and bustle, Snipes found something he loved: performing arts. By the age of 12, Wesley Snipes was already acting in an off-Broadway play called The Me Nobody Knows. But life wasn't easy in the Bronx, so he took up martial arts at the age of 7. This wasn't just a hobby for him, it became a huge part of his life. Over time, Snipes earned a 5th-degree black belt in Shotokan Karate and a 2nd-degree black belt in Hapkido. He also studied other forms of martial arts, including Kung Fu and the use of weapons. This gave him not just physical strength, but also discipline, which helped him later in life.
But I was thinking you started doing, you've been studying martial arts since you were 12 years old. And
Wesley attended the High School of Performing Arts in New York City from 1975 to 1977, where he focused on acting, dancing, and music. His time there allowed him to grow as a performer. However, life took another unexpected turn when his mother decided to move the family back to Orlando, Florida. The slow pace of life in Orlando was very different from the fast-paced streets of the Bronx, and Wesley struggled to adjust at first. But he soon found a new passion in the drama department at Jones High School, where he continued to shine as a performer.
Graduated from State University of New York at the theater arts school there. And so I was kind of focused on theater and classical performing, classical character building.
Wesley Snipes wasn't like other teenagers. He was determined to pursue his love for acting. To make some money, he joined a city-sponsored drama group called Struttin' Street Stuff. The group performed puppet shows in parks and schools, which helped Snipes build his confidence. He also performed solo, playing Puck in A Midsummer Night's Dream, a Shakespearean play. This performance earned him an award and recognition for his talent. After graduating from high school, Wesley attended the State University of New York at Purchase, where he studied theater. He worked hard acting in various productions that helped him develop his skills even more.
You are just as hungry as they are, and looking forward to that big break and big opportunity.
Snipes faced many personal struggles throughout his life, starting from childhood. Growing up, he often felt out of place, especially during his college years. At the State University of New York at Purchase, he was one of only 4 African-American students in the theater arts department. He described this experience as feeling like mold on white bread. This feeling of not fitting in was tough for him, but he found some comfort in the writings of Malcolm X, which taught him about African-American pride. This gave him a sense of worth and helped him feel stronger in a place where he often felt alone. During his first year of college, Snipes briefly embraced Islam. He found strength and dignity in the faith, but after 3 years, he decided to leave. He explained that while Islam helped him during hard times, he was ready to find his own path. In college, Snipes tried out for a role in the movie Beat Street, which was about break dancers. Unfortunately, he didn't get the part. But this setback was a valuable learning experience for him. Despite his talent, he was never cast as a leading man in any school productions. So he decided to leave college and pursue acting full-time. His determination paid off, and he quickly became a sought-after actor. One of his acting teachers once said he was extremely talented, funny, and had a strong sense of Black consciousness. In 1987, Snipes appeared in Michael Jackson's famous music video for Bad. After that, he faced tough times and worked as a masseuse and valet driver to make ends meet. However, things turned around when he landed a role in HBO's Vietnam War story. This opportunity led to his breakout role as Willie Mae Hayes in the movie Major League in 1989. The film became one of the best sports comedies, grossing over $75 million worldwide.
I would immediately start to talk about him as a great lost treasure of American cinema, who was able to run the gamut between action, comedy, and serious drama with incredible ease.
Wesley Snipes' path to Hollywood wasn't easy. When he first entered the scene, critics weren't very kind to him. But Snipes had something special, natural athleticism, and a strong presence that people couldn't ignore. These qualities would eventually help him stand out in the competitive entertainment industry. In 1985, Snipes made his Broadway debut in The Boys of Winter. His performance got people talking, and soon he started landing roles in TV commercials and regional theater. But his big break came when a casting agent spotted him at a talent competition. This led to wider exposure for Snipes. In 1986, Wesley Snipes made his film debut in Wildcats, where he played a rebellious football player alongside the famous actress Goldie Hawn. This was just the start. That same year, he appeared in Streets of Gold, a film about an aspiring boxer. But one of his most memorable early appearances was in Michael Jackson's famous Bad music video, where Snipes played the leader of a rival gang. His intense performance in the video, directed by Martin Scorsese, caught people's attention.
So that's the way it goes down, eh?
Wesley Snipes' career really took off in the early 1990s. In 1991, he starred in Jungle Fever, directed by Spike Lee. His role as a man involved in a complicated interracial relationship earned him high praise from critics. That same year, he starred in New Jack City as the ruthless drug lord Nino Brown, a role that was written specifically for him. New Jack City was a huge hit, and it cemented Snipes as a star in Hollywood. But perhaps his most iconic role came in 1998 when Snipes played the half-vampire, half-human hero in Blade, a movie based on a Marvel Comics character. Blade was a massive success, making over $150 million worldwide. Snipes' portrayal of the tough, no-nonsense hero was a hit with audiences, and the movie became a classic.
I walk in and I say, "Excuse me, sir, excuse me, may I use your restroom?" I said, I'm in a little rush, but is it possible to use the restroom? So he looks me up and down and he's like, "We don't have one."
Oh my
Oh, no, it gets better. It gets better. No, it gets a lot better.
However, success brought its own problems. In 1991, while Wesley was filming The Water Dance, he faced a tough situation. He borrowed a Mustang car from the production company to get around, but someone on set thought the car was stolen and reported it. That night, the LAPD stopped Wesley in downtown Los Angeles. He had to lie face down on the pavement with handcuffs while an officer pointed a gun at him. Wesley was confused and kept asking what he had done wrong, but the officers wouldn't answer. After 2 hours in the police station, he was finally let go. Wesley later called this the most humiliating experience of his life. Wesley held a news conference to talk about the incident. He was joined by other actors like Blair Underwood and Reginald T. Dorsey, who shared their own stories of police mistreatment. Even though Wesley had support from many in Hollywood, some fans felt he abandoned them as his career grew. He stopped attending events for Black people, which disappointed many of his fans. People also began to criticize the roles Wesley chose. Some fans were okay with his interracial romance in Jungle Fever, but by the time One Night Stand came out, they were frustrated. Wesley made comments in an interview that upset many people. He said that because he was surrounded by white people in Hollywood, he naturally met more white women. He even implied that successful Black men might choose a white partner who resembled Black women or made them feel comfortable. This made many supporters feel hurt and angry. Wesley's comments about Black women stirred up more controversy. In 1997, he talked about dating an Asian woman named Donna Wong. He said their relationship had a special energy, but he also claimed that successful Black men didn't want to fight with their partners. He felt that Black women didn't provide the kind of love he wanted. This only fueled the anger against him. Despite the backlash, Wesley continued his career. He married South Korean artist Nikki Park in 2003 and had 4 children with her, but his earlier comments left a bad mark on his career. Many people said they refused to watch his movies because of what he said about black women. In the late 1990s, Wesley took on strange roles, such as Noxima Jackson in To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. Just when it seemed like his career might be over, he announced he would star in the Blade series. The first Blade movie came out in 1998, followed by Blade 2 in 2002 and Blade Trinity in 2004. These films helped Wesley regain his status as an action hero. But after Blade, Wesley's career began to struggle again, as he starred in several films that didn't do as well.
How many Jokers do you think we snatched?
Wesley Snipes had a rough time in Hollywood. His troubles started with the movie The Art of War, which did poorly at the box office and received bad reviews. Following that, films like Zigzag and Undisputed did not help his situation. Then came Blade, Trinity, which was not only the least liked film in the Blade series, but also hurt Wesley's reputation in the industry. Wesley became even more frustrated when he filed a $5 million lawsuit against New Line Cinema. He claimed that the film's director and writers were chosen without his agreement, even though he was a co-executive producer. Wesley said that the director, David Goyer, made racial comments about him. He also accused New Line of hiring only white people for the film, giving his co-stars more screen time, and not helping him get a tax break for filming in Canada. The situation got worse when comedian Patton Oswalt shared stories about Wesley's behavior on set. He claimed Wesley would stay in his trailer, only communicating through notes, and spend his time smoking. There were also rumors of a fight between Wesley and Goyer, but Wesley denied these claims. During filming, some people said Wesley wasn't a team player. They claimed he wouldn't help his fellow actors during their close-up shots and would call in a stand-in instead. An anonymous crew member said Wesley referred to his co-star, Jessica Biel, as that girl. Wesley defended himself in interviews, suggesting that his treatment was partly due to his race. However, this behavior did not sit well with Hollywood, and many studios began to avoid working with him. Things took a turn for the worse in July 2005, when Wesley was caught traveling on a fake South African passport. This led to him being labeled as undesirable. In 2019, when Marvel announced a reboot of Blade, Wesley was not asked to return. Instead, they cast Mahershala Ali as the new lead. Wesley took this news well, saying he was okay with the franchise moving in a new direction. He said, "I don't feel any loss in not working with Marvel. Blade was white belt stuff. We're black belts now." In the 1990s, Wesley was a big star, earning about $10 million per movie and getting 10% of the profits. But as the new millennium began, his financial troubles began to surface. In 2002, the William Morris Agency filed a claim against him for a $500,000 loan. By 2003, his Florida mansion, which he bought for $1.7 million, was auctioned off for just $636,000 because he couldn't keep up with the payments. Wesley claimed that the sale was unfair because of a forged signature, but the court ruled against him. His troubles continued in 2007 when he was accused of not filing tax returns from 1999 to 2004, allegedly cheating the government out of around $12 million. He was said to be involved in a tax fraud scheme, but Wesley insisted he was just a client of people who misled him.
In 2008, Snipes was found guilty in Ocala of failing to file income taxes for a 3-year period in which he earned just under $40 million.
After a long legal battle, Wesley avoided felony charges but was convicted of 3 misdemeanor counts for not filing his taxes. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison and fined up to $5 million.
Big developments in the Wesley Snipes tax evasion case.
Today, the U.S. Marshal in Orlando ordered the actor to report to prison next week. This latest move comes 2 weeks after a similar order from a federal magistrate in Ocala.
Wesley appealed his sentence, claiming it was too harsh, but the court rejected his appeal. He ended up serving 28 months in a federal prison in Pennsylvania.
His legal team has indicated they may take their appeal of Snipes' conviction to the U.S. Supreme Court. And just today, Snipes' legal team filed with the U.S. 11th Circuit Court in Atlanta.
After his release, he faced more challenges with the IRS, which said he owed close to $18 million in back taxes. Frustrated, Wesley sued the tax agency, saying they were being unreasonable. These legal issues put a huge pause on Wesley's career. Though he worked on some films during this time, his conviction and prison time made it hard for him to find good roles, hurting his public image. When Wesley returned to Hollywood, many were curious, but also skeptical about him. These days, Wesley doesn't get many big movie offers, but he still finds smaller roles. Interestingly, he has developed a love for dancing and musical theater. In a recent interview, he mentioned that doing movies was cool, but not as fulfilling as dancing. He said, "If I have a choice between doing a movie and doing a dance show, I'll choose the dance show first." Wesley's reputation isn't the best among some of his fellow stars. Many celebrities have had their share of conflicts or disagreements with him, and it's not hard to see why. Snipes has earned a reputation for being difficult to work with, both on and off set. Let's dive into some stories that reveal why certain celebs can't stand Wesley Snipes.
Because I heard Wesley Snipes talking about a fourth movie, coming back into the game. And I was wondering, would you be interested to do another one, to be back as Hannibal King, or why?
No.
Ryan Reynolds is loved for his charm and humor, but when it comes to Snipes, things are a bit different. The two worked together on Blade, Trinity, where things reportedly got tense. It's said that Snipes wasn't too friendly with Reynolds during filming. In fact, Reynolds later joked that Snipes referred to him as that cracker. Co-star Patton Oswalt also commented on how Snipes seemed uninterested in working with Reynolds. A lot of the lines that Ryan Reynolds has were just a result of Wesley not being there, Oswalt explained, highlighting the tension on set. When asked years later if he would ever do another Blade film, Reynolds replied with a quick, "No," shaking his head. It's clear that this was not a positive experience for him.
Let me interrupt.
It was too hot inside. I had to come outside for a minute.
So you getting down, huh? Salsa, yeah. It's all right. I love this.
Jennifer Lopez also had a rocky experience with Wesley Snipes during the filming of Money Train. In a candid interview, she revealed that Snipes pursued her, even though she was in a relationship at the time. After turning him down, Snipes reportedly iced her out, refusing to speak to her for months. J.Lo expressed frustration, saying, "Actors are used to getting their way and treating women like objects." She saw this as a big problem in Hollywood. Her story shows how Snipes' behavior can be seen as disrespectful. In a surprising twist, even former heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson had a run-in with Wesley Snipes. Tyson's bodyguard, Rudy Gonzalez, recounted an incident where Snipes and Tyson clashed at a nightclub. After seeing Snipes cozying up to Tyson's girlfriend, Tyson confronted him. The story goes that after a heated moment in the bathroom, Snipes was found unconscious. This incident certainly painted Snipes in a rough light, showing that even tough guys like Tyson can't always handle him.
And Wesley Snipes was going crazy, and he wouldn't come out of his trailer, and you'd walk by his trailer, and this wall of pot stench would just be like, whoa.
Comedian Patton Oswalt had plenty to say about Snipes' behavior while filming Blade, Trinity. He described Snipes as going crazy and often hiding in his trailer, surrounded by the smell of marijuana. Oswalt recounted that Snipes only answered to the name Blade and even communicated with the director using Post-it notes. While Oswalt found humor in it, it also highlighted how Snipes' behavior impacted those around him. Corbin Burnson, who starred alongside Snipes in Major League, felt slighted by Snipes' attitude after the film's success. When Burnson mentioned a sequel, Snipes dismissed it, leading Burnson to feel that Snipes had forgotten his roots. "It rubbed me the wrong way," Burnson said. This attitude can lead to resentment, especially among former co-stars who helped him rise to fame.
I think he had bad advisors, and sometimes advisors would tell you, like, there's a law and you don't have to follow that law because of, and I think that's what happened with Wesley.
Comedian Joe Rogan had his own issues with Snipes. Back in 2005, Rogan openly expressed a desire to fight Snipes, claiming he wanted to choke the expletive out of him. Although the fight never happened, Rogan's comments highlighted a significant tension between the two. It seems Snipes' tough guy persona doesn't just come from his movie roles, but also translates to real life, and not everyone appreciates it. Rapper Nas shared a bizarre encounter he had with Snipes at a nightclub. After a strange interaction where Snipes pushed him and asked if he was a rapper or a scientist, Nas pushed back. "Damn, Wesley Snipes is about to do some Blade-esque to me," Nas thought. While nothing escalated from there, it was another example of Snipes' unpredictable behavior that left a lasting impression. Wesley Snipes may have had some romantic conquests, but they didn't always end well. Stacey Francis, a singer from the group Ex-Girlfriend, shared her experience with Snipes during an episode of Celebrity Big Brother. After a passionate relationship, she felt abandoned when he suddenly stopped contacting her. "The first man to break my heart was Wesley Snipes," she revealed, showcasing that his reputation extends beyond the film industry. Finally, there's a long-standing rumor involving Wesley Snipes and actress Halle Berry. Some claim Snipes was involved in an incident that left Berry with hearing loss. Although the details are unclear and both parties have denied it, the rumor adds to Snipes' controversial reputation. Nevertheless, Wesley has been married 2 times. His first wife was April Snipes, whose full name is April Dubois. Together, they have a son named Jelani. Jelani even made a small appearance in his dad's movie Mo Better Blues in 1990. After his first marriage, Snipes found love again and married Nak-kyung Nikki Park Snipes in 2003. Nikki is a talented painter, and they have 4 children together. Wesley Snipes is not just a family man with his 2 wives. He also has another son who lives far away in British Columbia, Canada. Family seems to be very important to him. He balances his busy acting career with being a dad, which can't be easy. Snipes' journey shows how he has built a loving family while also enjoying his success in Hollywood. Through ups and downs, his family has always been there, supporting him in every way. Wesley has also tried many business ideas too. In the late 1990s, he and his brother started a security company called the Royal Guard of Amun-Ra. This company focused on giving VIPs bodyguards who were well-trained in law enforcement and martial arts. The name Amun-Ra is special to Snipes because it is also the name of his film company. Their first movie, A Great and Mighty Walk, Dr. John Henrik Clark, came out in 1996. In 2000, Snipes faced some trouble when his business was looked at because of possible connections to a group called the United Nubian Nation of Moors. He had even thought about buying 200 acres of land near their place in Georgia to set up a business academy. This land was near the Tama Ray compound. Both Snipes' security business and the group used Egyptian symbols, which caught people's attention. In the end, Snipes and his brother did not buy the land. Instead, they set up their company in places like Florida, Antigua, and even Africa. Later in 2010, Snipes co-created a sci-fi comic called After Dark with Antoine Fuqua. In 2017, he wrote his first novel, Talon of God, which is an urban fantasy story. He returned to comics in 2022 with a new title called The Exiled. Snipes continues to explore new creative paths beyond acting, showing he is more than just a movie star.